Hi guys, today's video probably is going to feel like it came out of nowhere, but I bought the new Natasha Denona Face palette and I know you're all thinking that why? Like why of all people, why did you buy this? So this is called the Hyper-natural Face palette. Now, I really like Natasha Denona's face products. I've tried a lot of her powder products and I absolutely love them. I like her eyeshadows as well, and even though these eyeshadow colors aren't necessarily what I would go for, I saw the face palette and I was like, I really could see myself bringing this traveling and like using this on very light makeup days, and I don't know, something about it just screamed my name and here I am. So I picked it up and I want to test it out with you guys. Now, I have already tried the face products a couple of times because I wanted to get an idea of like how they would work for me, and I really liked them. So I will show them applied. I have not yet used the eyeshadows. So that is mostly what this video is going to be focusing on, is the eyeshadows. When I swatched the eyeshadows, they weren't, how do I say this nicely? They weren't my favorites. And I totally get it, maybe this palette just isn't for me, but I wish there was a little bit more impact with them. Some of them felt a little more just like muted and toned down, and I thought that these would be more of like that special shimmer formula from Natasha Denona that we've seen in a couple of her recent palettes, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to just try it on the eyes. I'm gonna do like a very simple look today, sort of. I want to use this palette in the way that it's supposed to be used, if that makes sense, and try not to judge it too harshly based on my preferences when it comes to eyeshadows, because I obviously prefer very sparkly, shimmery, high shine, kind of the same thing, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I like my makeup to be a little bit more out there, but I want to try to embrace this and see kind of like where I end up with that. So I'm going to start by applying the face products. Now, with the bronzer, the way that I usually will do it is I just kind of go across because I like mixing the colors, and I will also try to use those as eyeshadows, at least like one of them as sort of a transition shade to the shimmers. But honestly, this bronzer color is perfect for me. Like, I really like both the formula and the color of this bronzer, and I can see myself honestly like using this a lot, and it would really be a nice sort of travel palette. Not that I really plan on traveling a whole lot this year, but I think you get the gist. Like, it could be a palette that I could pull out when I don't really know what else to wear, or I don't know, even if I just want to use the bronzer, I could pull it off with the bronzer. Like, I have no problem doing that. I usually don't like big face palettes, but this one is compact and small enough that I feel like it's not going to be in the way on my vanity and stuff like that. And I've seen so many thumbnails for this palette. I haven't watched anybody's videos, but everyone's like, what is this? Like, nobody seems to really like it, but so far, I mean, the face products work wonderfully for me. So I'm going to do the same thing with the blush. I just kind of mix them together because that's just the color that I want in my blush, and of course I could use them separately on their own as well, but I think that the light pink is a little too pink for what I prefer in my blushes. I don't tend to go for those very white-based sort of pink shades because I feel like they're just not that flattering on my skin, but mixing these two together, it's beautiful. It's definitely nice and pigmented. Now, obviously, this only comes in one color, or like, you know, one shade overall, which is a problem. But I think if this is the kind of colors that you like, that would suit you, I do think that you would like the face products. Again, I can't speak for the eyeshadows yet, so we're gonna have to just test those out and see. But so far, I don't really have any complaints, if I'm being honest. I want to see if I can use this eyeshadow as a highlighter, which this might be wishful thinking. I don't know if this formula is like meant for that, but we're gonna try it anyway and just sort of see. Actually, I'm not mad at that. Like, that looks pretty good. That looks better than I sort of thought it would. It's definitely more of that kind of sheer formula, which is exactly what I like in my highlighters. It doesn't have a lot of base pigment, so it just makes it look wet looking, and I think that looks nice. I'm gonna have to like see it in daylight, but I like how that is looking so far. So I mean, so far so good on the face products. I'm just gonna take my powder brush and just go over it a little bit just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. I'm gonna prime my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, which seems fitting since we're using a Natasha Denona product, but this is just like my go-to eyeshadow primer. I do actually have an affiliate code with Natasha Denona. I don't get sent PR or anything like that, but I did sign up for their affiliate program, so you can get 10% off if you use my code Annette. Like I said, it is affiliated, but I always want to help you guys save money if you're interested in buying anything from the brand. It obviously only works on her own website, not like Sephora or anything like that, but a lot of the time I feel like you can get better deals from the brand's websites than you can from Sephora, because the brands usually will run sales and stuff throughout the year. And I know Sephora does that as well, but if you can stack a code on top of an already discounted product, then that's usually better than buying it from Sephora. So I'm going to, like I said, just keep this very simple. I'm gonna try to use this middle shade here as my kind of transition shade and see if it's dark enough. It might not be. I mean, these are very lightly, actually that works well. These are very lightly pigmented when I swatch them, but I think that's obviously because they're supposed to be, you know, face products, so that's a good thing. But I actually really like this color as a transition shade. That is beautiful. Never thought I would say that about like a very light transition shade, but this just works very nicely for my skin tone. Super easy to apply, obviously blends out wonderfully, but it's a very light shade as well, so that is to be expected. Should I try to deepen it up a little bit? I don't think I'm gonna get like the most depth, but I'm gonna take some of this and just see how pigmented this is, and if it's possible to get a little bit of depth in the outer corner here. Yeah, so as expected, it's not super deep, and it's also a little bit on the sheer side, which again, it's meant to be a face product, so totally get that. But if you just wanted something quick and easy in your crease, add a little bit of depth, this definitely does the job. And like that, it's doing what it's meant to do, you know what I mean? Like, it's not trying to be the most revolutionary, intense, pigmented brown eyeshadow that you ever tried. It's just trying to be this, you know? Now, I feel like the eyeshadows are meant to be sort of more like a one and done kind of deal, so I'm obviously putting some matte in my crease still, but you could probably just slap one of these eyeshadows on the lid and kind of call it a day. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I think I just want to use these two. I don't know, just see how they perform, I suppose. So I'm just going to start with the shade that I used on my face. I'm not going to use a glitter primer with this, but I am going to spray it a little bit with some Fix Plus. Honestly, I'm just lazy and I don't know where my glitter primer is, and I don't need this to be like the most intense look ever either. I just want to kind of try it out in a way that I feel like, you know, most people would use these and see how I feel about it. I'll probably add in like some pink eyeliner or something like that after I'm done to spice this look up a little bit, because that is more me, and I'm also wearing bright pink pants, so just to kind of tie everything in together, I think that's going to make sense. So like, this is a very pretty shade, and if I'm gonna do like a one shadow sort of look, this is the kind of shade that I would go for. I don't tend to go for like the darker shades. If I don't want to be wearing a lot of makeup or a lot of eyeshadow, I definitely tend to use something very light like this just to get like some shine on the lid. So I think this would do a good job with that. I'm next gonna take the shade called Everyday and just put a little, oh man, I almost just like burped. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that, like, I don't know, right here, I guess. This isn't going to do a whole lot. This is definitely more of a, you know, a subtle everyday shadow, which is basically the name of it, so I totally get that. And I think if you are someone who likes putting shadows, like shimmer shadows all over the lid and just blending it out, like this would probably be a good shade for that. I can see a lot of people liking this as a one and done shade. I think for me, it's maybe a little lackluster, but I'm really trying to review this as, you know, for what it is and the way that I think the regular consumer will use this palette. And I think a lot of people are going to like this. Isn't my absolute favorite eyeshadow in my collection, like not even close. Will I use this again? I don't know. I really don't know, because I have a very big collection. But I think this is all I'm gonna do for the eyes, at least eyeshadow wise. I'm gonna take my neon pink eyeliner from JD Glow, and I'm just gonna do a little wing. Just doing a little bit of black liquid liner as well. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of white right in the front here, just to brighten up the eyes a little bit. I also just put on some lashes, so if my lash glue is still drying, I apologize, but I honestly really like this look, and I think that this palette, if what this is advertised to is what you're looking for, was that right, grammar? I think you know what I'm trying to say. If you think that you would like this, I think you would like it. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is definitely for someone who likes very minimal eye makeup, at least. Nothing that's too intense, something that you could just throw on easily in the morning and be out the door and not have to like worry too much about it. I'm probably gonna try it again just to like see without using any transition shade if these shimmers sort of blend out on their own. Maybe I'll try using these or like one of these as a bit of a smoky eye or something. I do plan on starting back up my makeup diary series, so maybe I'll do it in that one. We'll see. I have ideas, and I'm not sure if I'm able to execute them right now. But anyway, I mean, I like the look. Is it kind of boring? Yes. Is it anything groundbreaking? No. But I do really like the face products, and I think that, you know, the powders perform well. So I don't know, take this review for what you want. I mean, if you like what you see, that's what you're gonna get. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in this palette. Let me know if you are planning on picking this up. What is your favorite powder product from Natasha Denona? I would love to know, because I've tried a lot from her and I really like most of the things, and Natasha Denona is a brand that I've been interested in for a very long time, and I've tried a lot of things from her, and I can see myself, you know, still trying things from Natasha Denona in the future, because I like her formulas, I like her aesthetics. Maybe sometimes they're not, you know, home runs for me, but that's okay. Like, every brand has products that you like the look of that don't work perfectly, but that doesn't stop me from, you know, still reviewing brands that I like. So I guess that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some more Natasha Denona content, I do have a playlist. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.